Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Preston here. This is my post fight reaction. I know this is kind of a late reaction and stuff like that, but here I am now, and stuff like that, So basically, this is my post fight reaction to Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. ending in a split decision draw. I believe that's what it was a split decision draw, and stuff like that, because the first judge, I believe, had it in favor of Tank or something, and then the other judge had it in favor of Roach, and then after that, it was the other judge had it even of a draw, and stuff like that. The third judge had it a draw, and stuff like that. But in my opinion, though, and stuff like that, realistically, Tank did not win that fight, though. I really feel like Tank was gifted with that draw, in my opinion, and stuff like that, because he didn't win that fight, man. It just in either way, shape, or form, it's there was some rounds that that he won, yes, but at the end of the day, it's just it's hard for me to say that that Gervonta won that fight. Overall, and stuff like that, a lot of people had it 7 rounds to 5. You could argue that the 9th round was in favor of Gervonta, and stuff like that. But in my opinion, though, and stuff like that, I feel like it was more in favor of Lamont Roach, in my opinion, and stuff like that, So, in that round, I had it in favor of Lamont Roach. So overall, in my unofficial scorecard, I had it 8 rounds to 4, in favor of Lamont Roach Jr., which I believe that's 116 to 112, and stuff like that. And that's in favor of Lamont Roach, and stuff like that, because I just feel like, even the judges, in my opinion, they really just thought that Gervonta just lost this fight, in my opinion, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they didn't want to just put a loss on his record. Like, if that was me, I would have put a loss on his record. A loss is a loss, and stuff like that. But but at the same time, though, that's just my own self, as as a YouTuber, as a sports analyst and stuff like that, that's my perception. But as an actual judge, and stuff like that, which whatever your decision is will cost, the company money and shit, and stuff like that, if they would have gave Tank that loss, a lot of people would have been criticizing Tank, and stuff like that. It would have been a lot of risk of losing money and stuff like that, So it's that's why they couldn't afford to just have Tank lose, because they knew, because it's hard to say that Tank, that the fight was a draw. A draw is gifted in this type of fight, and stuff like that. That was just a gift. That was just a gift from Santa Claus, literally. That's the thing. Tank did not win that fight, man. And stuff like that. I'm not saying he's not, Tank is a great freaking fighter. Tank is, in my opinion, is still the best fighter at 135, in my opinion. But if he goes and ducks Lamont Roach, and stuff like that, or let me rephrase it. If he goes and just, and goes against, if he goes and fights somebody else and shit, let's say if he goes and fights Jake Paul or whatever, because there was, some type of rumors that, it could have been, Jake Paul or something, that was one of, the people. I don't know if it was Jake Paul, but basically, if he went to fight Jake Paul instead of having a rematch with Lamont Roach, that is a complete duck right there, and stuff like that, you can't just duck Lamont Roach like that, and stuff like that, no matter what, even if you went and beat up, Jake Paul or something, or even if you beat up Isak Cruz or something like that, and stuff like that, if you had a rematch, or, let's say if you fought, Shakur Stevenson, for crying out loud, a fight that everybody been wanting and stuff like that, literally, even with that fight, it's still not going to make him look good and stuff like that, if he's not going to just go and, and immediately get that rematch and stuff like that. He needs to get that rematch. If he ain't gonna get that rematch, and stuff like that, my respect, Tank will always have my respect, but if he ain't gonna, rematch him right then and there, I like no matter what, like can you do about that? You didn't rematch him at that time, and stuff like that. So it's like at that time, it's like I can't really respect you about that, So it's like at the same time, man, it's just like, it's just Tank got some things to think about, man. Like he really got some shit to think about, man. Because literally, like, you got to think about that, like, hey, like, like, if I don't, like, but it is the next day, and stuff like that, because the other clip that I did was last night, and stuff like that, but basically, like, that's the thing, man. Like, Tank, like, he just didn't win that fight, man. I just felt like, that, like, again, he just, like, I just feel like, he underestimated Lamont Roach, I feel like. I just feel like he didn't give Lamont Roach the respect of what he needed, and stuff like that. Because he just thought, again, like, he was just going to go in there and just destroy Lamont Roach, and stuff like that. But that wasn't the case and stuff like that, like, Tank, like, like, Lamont Roach is a good fighter, and it proved of, even though his record is iffy, especially that he has 2 draws on his record. I believe he's 21-1 with 2 draws, and stuff like that, which is an iffy record. But now knowing Lamont is an underrated fighter. Like, that record that Lamont has is underrated. Like, if he fought Shakur Stevenson, he might even freaking beat Shakur Stevenson, and stuff like that. Like, you never know. Styles make fights. You don't know until they actually get in the ring with each other. But I'm just saying, like, Lamont could probably even beat Shakur Stevenson, and stuff like that, But at the other hand, and shit like that, I just feel like if Gervonta Davis, if he was in good shape for this fight, and stuff like that. If he was in good shape for this fight, and stuff like that, like in this fight, he didn't look like he was in good shape at all. Gervonta looked very, just not Gervonta, and stuff like that. He kind of looked like out of shape, kind of like what he did against Ryan Garcia, where he kind of just was like more just bigger, and stuff like that. He just thought in this fight how he could just be bigger and then just easily roll through Lamont Roach, and stuff like that. And that wasn't the case, and stuff like that. Like, Gervonta had, like he had to be ready for that fight, and stuff like that. So in Gervonta's next fight, because I'm not saying, Gervonta could go and fight, anybody he wants. Gervonta, he could do whatever he wants. But at the same time, though, respect is going to be lacking in shit if he does not go and rematch Lamont Roach right away. Lamont Roach Jr. right away. Because you could go and beat Shakur Stevenson, just like how I said on my video. You can just, on my last video, like, you can go and beat Shakur Stevenson, and stuff like that, But things aren't going to change until that beef with you and Lamont Roach is completely solved, and stuff like that, because you can't just, like, just say, this smoke, I could deal with this smoke later. No, dude, you drew in this fight. This wasn't like Gervonta won this fight, and shit like that, and like they just made it, like, and then, hold up, so I kind of, got into my brain and shit, and stuff like that. Hold up. It's not like Gervonta, like, won this fight, like overall, like in life. It's not like he won this fight, and stuff like that, like he drew in this fight. You did not win this fight, Gervonta. You drew in this fight. In my opinion, I thought you lost, and stuff like that. So I just feel like, because I'm a big Gervonta fan, man. Even if Gervonta did watch this video and stuff like that, I just want to say that you are like, I grew up watching you, literally. Like, I grew up, like, just watching Gervonta. Just like, like my dad growing up watching Floyd Mayweather, and stuff like that. I grew up watching Gervonta Davis. He's one of my favorite boxers of this day, or I would say my favorite boxer of this day. I'm just very fucking disappointed, and stuff like that. Because I feel like, like, he could have easily, been in good condition, and stuff like that, and he could have, like, easily just got Lamont Roach out of there. Like, it would have been, no matter what, when it's Gervonta Davis, when he lets his hands go, it's a matter of time until you get dropped or until you get knocked out by Gervonta. Gervonta did not let his hands go. It was almost like he was playing that Adrian Broner game. Like, it's like he kept holding his hands. He just thought that one little shot was just gonna give him anything he wanted, and stuff like that, and then Roach gave him like a 10-piece combo after that shit, and stuff like that. Like, Gervonta got to step it up, and stuff like that, because the one thing though and stuff like that, and stuff, and a lot of people do say this too, and stuff like that. I feel like, Gervonta being in like, a big mansion, and stuff like that, and just because he used to live, like he used to been homeless. He used to have to sleep in the boxing gym, and stuff like that, because he had no home, and stuff like that, But then after that, like he started getting money, like, but during that time, he was more hungry. But now since he has a mansion, he has all this and that and shit, like, now it's like, is he as hungry anymore? Like, or is he actually serious? Like, is he actually serious about retiring? Or is he actually, like, wanting to box, and shit like that? Because it's like, you can't just get too into that money. Because I feel like when you get too into that money and shit, it starts to really derail you, and stuff like that. It really starts to make you feel like that you don't have to do anything and stuff like that really anymore to make money, stuff like that, which is very much true. So it's like, is Gervonta actually committed into the sport, or is he actually like, or does he actually mean of what he means of him retiring? I don't know, stuff like that. He didn't mention anything of him retiring, so I wouldn't say that he's going to retire. But if he ain't going to retire, I'm expecting, like, if he ain't going to fight, and like until like late of this year or something like that or whatever, I get that. But don't fucking go and fight somebody else and stuff like that just to duck Lamont Roach. Like, you cannot do that, and stuff like that. Like, you can't do that shit, and stuff like that. But yeah, but that's just my thoughts for Gervonta. Lamont Roach, wow, he proved me the fuck wrong. Like, literally, like, I'm just saying. And he fucking proved me the fuck wrong and shit like that, because I didn't think that Lamont Roach was just going to go and just, like, in my opinion, win that fight. Like, I thought, like, even in my predictions, like, I still gave Lamont Roach respect. But just like with any opponent with Gervonta, like, he beat Ryan Garcia. He beat Hector Luis Garcia, like, he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz, somebody who hadn't been knocked out until that time, and stuff like that. He knocked out, like, everybody that he faced, and stuff like that, So it's like, I just thought, like, Lamont Roach, like, I just feel like, like, Lamont's going to give him, like, a good run for his money, but then eventually Gervonta was going to wear him down and stop him, and stuff like that. But Roach proved that he has a good chin, a very fucking good chin. Like, Roach has, has probably one of the best chins in the lightweight division, in my opinion. Like, both, Roach and Gervonta actually both have pretty good chins, and stuff like that, And Lamont Roach really surprised me with that, because he was still taking some shots by Gervonta. Like, he was still boxing beautifully, but Gervonta was still sneaking in shots against Lamont Roach and stuff like that, And Roach was still eating those shots and stuff, but at the same time, he was just, like just getting to Gervonta with those shots. It was almost like every single exchange, it's like Lamont Roach would just do what he needs to do, and then he would just win every single exchange. It was weird, man, and stuff like that. It's like, literally, like, it would be crazy if Lamont Roach actually legitimately has, Gervonta Davis's number, and stuff like that. Like, that would be absolutely nuts. Like, do I think he does have his number? I mean, again, you don't know until they get into the ring again. That's why I really, really prayed to the Lord of Jesus Christ that God tells Gervonta that literally, like, that's a pure duck. Like, you have to fight him, like, the next time. Like, at that point, just retire it. Oh, shit. I didn't realize that. But at that point, retire and shit like that, at that point. Like, literally fucking retire, and shit like that, And that's the thing and shit, because, like, like, If you ain't gonna get that smoke with Lamont, just retire. I don't want to see, like, at this point, like, Shakur is just the new generation and shit. Like, like, there's no need for him to fight Gervonta, and stuff like that, And that's the thing. That's what I think about if he doesn't want the smoke with Lamont Roach, because I'm no longer interested in any fight with Gervonta. Like, Shakur could fight anybody fucking else and shit. Everybody could fight anybody else, but Gervonta, like, the only fight that I'm interested in you in is Lamont Roach. Like, literally. But Lamont Roach, like, that dude is great, though. He has great boxing skill in every single platform. Outside boxing skill, inside boxing skill. And he got some power. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't know where he's kind of like Jermell Charlo in a way. Where it's like, he doesn't have as many knockouts, like, compared to actually how much power he has, and stuff like that. Because Lamont Roach only has, 10 knockouts or something, and stuff like that, But those knockouts and shit like that, does not even close relate to actually how much power Lamont Roach has. Because this is Lamont Roach's, second fight at lightweight. So he has a lot to prove in lightweight and stuff like that, So it's like, you never know. He could probably go against people and just start just knocking people out easily. Because what I've seen with him and Gervonta, I'm pretty sure that's probably could be something that can happen, and stuff like that, But yeah, man. But overall, I thought Lamont Roach kind of got robbed in this fight, and stuff like that. I thought, I just think that there was no way that the refs were just going to go and just give this fight to Gervonta, and stuff like that, I mean, it's not Gervonta. I mean, excuse me. I mean, there's no way that they would have just gave this fight to Lamont Roach because, Gervonta Davis was the heavy A-side fighter, and stuff like that. That's what I meant to say. And Gervonta's the A-side fighter and stuff like that. So that's the thing, and stuff like that. And Lamont Roach was basically a 10-1 underdog, a very, very big underdog. Lamont Roach was nobody, other than his not bias. I'm gonna just say, yeah. Other than his biased fan base and shit, basically everybody else, and shit, who actually knew boxing. We all thought Gervonta was going to win this fight, and shit, and that didn't happen, and Lamont, he's a great fighter. He's now in my top 10, and stuff like that, he really, I just don't think anybody would really do that. I don't think Shakur Stevenson would have done that, and shit. I don't think, because Shakur, people get mad at him that he's not as active and stuff like that with his hands. He just is a scaredy cat. Punches and then runs away, and stuff like that. Just once and then runs away, and stuff like that. Gervonta, at that point, Gervonta you're going to piss him off and shit. And he's going to swing on you and shit like that. And he's going to hit you with something, and stuff like that. So you can't really compare Shakur Stevenson to Lamont Roach because, Stevenson has his flaws where he doesn't like to let his hands go against competition that's, heavy competition, and stuff like that. Against Edwin De Los Santos, and shit like that. Jeremiah Nakatila, and stuff like that, all those fights and stuff, the fighters that were kind of his size and stuff like that, that had power. He didn't want anything to do with them. He didn't want to throw him and engage with them. Lamont Roach, he wanted to engage with Gervonta Tank Davis. So that's the thing. That's the difference. He actually wanted to engage with him, and stuff like that, and he was actually doing very well. Gervonta, if he engaged too much with Gervonta, he would be way too scared. And then eventually, he probably would get caught, and then he wouldn't want to exchange like that ever again in the fight, and stuff like that, There's that's the thing. You can't compare Shakur Stevenson to Lamont Roach. But yeah, and stuff like that, and that's just what I want to say at the end of the video. But thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I just wanted, to basically have my face on the camera and shit because, that was basically an upset in my fucking opinion. That shit right there, that was an upset in my opinion. Literally, Gervonta, in my I had him losing 8 rounds to 4 in this fight, and that was just too crazy. I couldn't just have a picture up for this fight. I literally had to just have my face on, for this fight, for this post fight, and stuff like that. But yeah, but I'm Preston. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Peace out.